The Alberta Serious Incident Response Team is investigating following an officer-involved shooting that occurred in the community of Redstone early this morning. At approximately 10 p.m. on Thursday, August 30th, 2018, police were called to a gym in the 2600 block of Country Hills Boulevard N.E. following an altercation inside. The people involved in the altercation had left the gym, but one man continued circling the building in his vehicle, and staff were concerned for their safety. Officers tried to reach out to the man through his family and closed the gym in an attempt to de-escalate the situation, but after 2 hours in the area around the gym, the man drove off at a high rate of speed. Officers followed the man from a distance as he drove dangerously throughout Redstone and Skyview, placing the public at risk before stopping at his residence in Redstone. The man entered the residence and refused to exit. After having conversations with the man and conducting background checks, it was determined that the man was possibly having a mental health crisis. The man appeared to be calming down, but he would not surrender to police. Officers recognized that attempting to arrest the man at that point could lead to a violent confrontation and decided that disengaging until the next day posed the least risk to him, the public, and responding officers. His vehicle was towed in an effort to prevent further dangerous driving and protect the public. Officers then left the residence. Later, police received a noise complaint due to loud music coming from the man's residence and reached out to the man by phone again. Officers patrolling the area to monitor the situation then encountered the man near the intersection of Redstone Drive and Redstone Street Northeast around 3:45 a.m. The situation escalated, and officers deployed less lethal Arwin rounds and fired a service pistol at the man. Knives were recovered at the scene. First aid was immediately administered to the man by the officers on scene, and it continued until EMS arrived. The man was taken to hospital in life-threatening condition, where he has since succumbed to his injuries. As ASIRT is currently investigating, I am limited in what I can say, but I can now take questions.
In terms of the officers involved, is there anything you can tell us in terms of years of service and what supports are being provided to them?
Yeah, the full support of our organization with respect to their health and wellness is being provided to them. There's a 6-year member and an 8-year member were involved.
And do we know, did each of them fire the shot, or do we know, is that being disclosed?
Well, we can't disclose that because that part of the investigation is with ASIRT now. So by disclosing that, I would be in turn, interfering with the current investigation in the matter.
Mentioned in the press release that the Arwins were fired. Are these the new ones that were rolled out to frontline officers, or were these from tactical members?
These were the new ones deployed out to the front line, and it was our first deployment by a frontline officer.
So sorry, it was the first time they were deployed by frontline officers?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, gotcha. Now, do we know, sort of, I probably can't say, but how soon in between the firing of the Arwin and the pistol?
Again, that makes up a big part of the ASIRT investigation. I just can't get into it this time.
So just to be clear about those officers, they're both on administrative leave? Or?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, how about the family members of the dead man? I mean, you said that you were in contact with them the day before. Any luck reaching out to them now?
Well, we were in contact with the family. I guess the incident itself starts later yesterday.
Right, okay.
We were in contact with the family as the incident unfolded, and we are in contact with them now. We do offer supports to the family. After an incident like this, we certainly want to engage them and make sure that they're getting everything they need.
Any history of mental health with this suspect?
We have had contacts with this gentleman before, but I'm not sure what the nature of those contacts were with respect to his mental health.
Is there any criminal history?
I'm not sure his criminal history either. We have had contact with him before, though.
But it's accurate to say he was known to police?
Yes.
In terms of how difficult is this in the line of work when you know mental health is involved, or mental health may be a factor?
It's very difficult. Our officers have an incredibly complex and dynamic job. They're continually evaluating every situation as it presents itself, and when you add a person who's in crisis, whether it's for mental health or any other reason, it just compounds that dynamic. So our officers are dealing with things that are incredibly dangerous, and as they unfold, they're presented with so many dynamic situations that we're always amazed at how professionally they conduct themselves. The great bulk of our organization, they do amazing work.
What happens now in terms of the scene?
Well, you know what? I haven't had an update on the scene yet. This morning, when I was getting first getting briefed on this, I know that we were processing the scene, and that we were transitioning the investigation over to investigators from the province, to ASIRT. So the scene could still be up. I'm not sure the status right now.
In the press release, it seemed like, compared to maybe recent officer involved shootings, there seemed to be quite a bit of information you guys were able to provide. Is there a reason why maybe you were able to provide more information in this case versus other ones in the past?
Every case is different. So in this instance, this is an event that was protracted, and we felt it was important. The amount of effort that was shown to try and make sure that we de-escalated this situation at every opportunity, because the whole point to us serving the community is to make sure everybody is their lives are protected, and there's no officer and there's no incident commander that wants to have the resolution to any contact being loss of life. It's a tragedy, right? So in this case, because our contact with this individual spanned 2 days and a number of different attempts to resolve this, we felt that we could disclose some of it, as it didn't pertain to the event where officers discharged Arwen and their service firearms, and makes up the part of the ASIRT investigation.
Can you speak a little bit about the additional resources that were used prior to the shooting, trying to contact this man yesterday? Was it just frontline officers, or was there members of, I don't know if it'd be the diversity unit, or sorry, I guess what else was used other than just frontline tactics?
Well, frontline tactics are, we have a number of things that we can do, and they're referred to as frontline tactics because they are accessed by members of the front line. So in any opportunity we have to use a resource that exists, whether or not the officers exist in a frontline capacity, but they can be contacted by frontline officers, we'll engage those resources. I'm not sure how many or which of those resources were engaged, but I do know that there's a great deal of thought put into every portion of this contact with this man to try and resolve this.
All good. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.